Prabhuji, I will rename your name in the Zoom, Prabhu, to your initiator name.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Today we are very fortunate to have the association of Grace Madhavsharan Prabhu, who will be sharing the nectar from Srimad Bhagavatam, canto number 5, chapter number 18 and shloka number 3. Prabhuji, thank you Prabhuji and over to you again.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Nena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namah Om Vishnu Padaya Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Vishesh Vadi Pashat Gadeshadarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So today we are covering the verse from 5th canto, 18th chapter, and verse number 3. The chapter entitled The Prayers Offered to the Lord by the Residents of Jambudvipa. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 3. Aho Vichitram Bhagavad Vicheshtitam Grantam Janoyam Iyamishana Pashrati Yayanna Sadhyarhi Vikarma Sevitum Nidrasya Putram Pitaram Diti Vishati. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation goes like this. Alas, how wonderful is that the foolish materialist does not heed the great danger of impending death. He knows that death will surely come, yet he is nevertheless callous and neglectful. If his father dies, he wants to enjoy his father's property. And if his son dies, he wants to enjoy his son's possessions as well. In either case, he heedlessly tries to enjoy material happiness with the acquired money. But material happiness means to have good facilities for eating, sleeping, sexual intercourse, and defense. In this world, the materialistic person lives only for these four principles of sense gratification, not caring for the impending danger of death. After his father's death, a son tries to inherit his money and use it for sense gratification. Similarly, one whose son dies tries to enjoy the possessions of his son. Sometimes a father of the dead son even enjoys his son's widow. Materialistic persons behave in this way. The Sukadeva Goswami says, how wonderful are these pastimes of material happiness transacted by the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, materialistic persons want to commit all kinds of sinful activities, but without the sanction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, no one can do anything. Why does the Supreme Personality of Godhead permit sinful activities? The Supreme Lord does not want any living being to act sinfully, and he begs him through his God conscience to refrain from sin. But when someone insists upon acting sinfully, the Supreme Lord gives him the sanction to act at his own risk. Mattasmriti jnanam apohanam cha. No one can do anything without the sanction of the Lord. But he is so kind that when the conditioned soul persists in doing something, the Lord permits the individual soul to act his own risk. The next para will see in the class going on. Hare Krishna. So basically, this verse explains about the sense gratification, how the Jivatma, to what extent he can even go. Srila Prabhupada is mentioning. So, and also many times Srila Prabhupada is very heavy on speaking on some materialistic persons. Even we hear is many of the lectures uh, in the especially in the morning walks. He is spoken so many times, and he's telling the materialistic persons as rascals. He uses the word rascal. But why does he use the word rascal? It is not in the negative sense he's telling, but he's meaning that the materialistic persons, they are so much engrossed in the sense gratification, and always they want material happiness. Here he's telling they want good facilities for what? They want good facilities for eating. They want good facilities for sleeping. They want good facilities for sexual intercourse. And they want good facilities for defense. And these four principles of sense gratification, the materialistic person, he goes on living with these principles, not caring even for the death, for the stealing. And even if somebody dies in the family, maybe if the father is dying, then the son tries to enjoy the father's money. And if son is dying, then the father tries to enjoy the possessions of the son. So this enjoying propensity, bhoga vritti is there. Atmendriya priti vancha, tare bali kama, Krishnendriya priti chadare prema nama. So actually, Atmendriya priti vancha. So when Jivatma tries to enjoy for his own senses, means pleasure of his own senses, then it is kama. But the same Jivatma, he tries to give enjoyment to the senses of the Krishna, senses of Krishna, then it is called prema. So actually that is why even Srimad Bhagavatam throughout stresses on this point that I and I, me, mine should be given up. So pumsa striya mituni bhava metam tayor mito hridaya grantim ahu ato graha kshetra suta tavitte janasya mohoyam aham mameti. So janasya mohoyam aham mameti. Aham and mama. These are the two things which binds the Jivatma to the material world. So when Srila Prabhupada is calling these materialistic persons rascal, that is out of his compassion and karuna. He is calling them rascal. So that just because Srila Prabhupada is calling them rascal, we cannot call them rascal. Because many of the devotees, before coming to Krishna consciousness, they were also materialistic persons. So we have to see our own back, past what we used to be, and we have to understand that because of the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, because of mercy of my Gurudev, and because of the mercy of some Vaishnava who has given me books or is given through some lectures, because of their mercy, Kripa, now I have become the devotee. So, mercy of the Lord and mercy of the devotees are very, very important. And this mercy comes through the Guru Parampara. So, Guru Shishya disciplic succession. So, this is very, very important to understand that we are always dependent on the mercy of Vaishnavas, mercy of Guru. Samashitaye pada pallava lavam mahat padam punya yasho murare bhavam budir vatsa padam param padam yad vipadam natesham. So, what we have to do? We have to take shelter of Murari. Mahatpadam Punyesho Murari. Murari Krishna, we have to take shelter of him. Then what will happen? This Bhavam Buddhi, which is the ocean of the material existence, it becomes like a hook, the water contained in the hook print of his calf. So that is why taking shelter of the Lord is very, very important. So, in order that the mercy flows from the Lord, we have to take shelter of the Lord and serve the Lord. But this boat is always available for everyone. Mercy is there for everyone. But who accepts the mercy and how much we accept the mercy, it depends on each living entity. So that is why Srila Prabhupada is giving the mercy to these materialistic persons also. It is not that he's just calling them rascal and just leaving as it is. But through his books, through his Vani, through his lectures, through various means of spreading this Harinama Sankirtana, he has also given the mercy to the materialistic persons so that they can become Krishna conscious. So, when his pastimes was going on in the previous years, Srila Prabhupada was establishing the BBT, Bhakti Vedanta Books. And there's many people became devotees through his books. Actually. And we see, so many examples in the West, how devotees were completely dependent on only Srila Prabhupada's mercy. Of course, in India also we are dependent on Srila Prabhupada's mercy, but at least in India, there may be some sadhus or some santa here and there who can give us Krishna consciousness here and there. At least some hope is there in India. But in West, there was absolutely no hope at all. Then Srila Prabhupada, he went to West in his old age and he gave the mercy to the Westerners. So there are a lot of examples how devotees have become, after reading Srila Prabhupada, they became devotees. So in Burma and all, Burma country, it was very difficult to preach Krishna consciousness. So they used to do some underground preaching and all. Then there was, they had written something that they cannot directly distribute the books. So what they used to do, that give some message like, if you are interested to know God, then please write mail to this mail ID or to write a letter to this address like that. So in Burma, from Burma, one person reads that whatever the subject they have mentioned, and after that he really sends the message. He writes a letter. You want to know more about the God? Then you please send some books or something like that. Then what happened? Some devotee personally came to his house and gave the book. And that devotee was every month going to his house. He was all the way traveling from India to Burma, and he was preaching few things, and he is flying back to India like that. Then that devotee in the Burma, that person in the Burma, he becomes a devotee. So this is how devotees are sacrificing so much, traveling all the way from India to Burma every month to make one devotee. So here we can understand, how much sacrifice devotees are doing. And another time, what happens in Burma, this vegetables, they pack it in the newspaper, but that is actually it's not newspaper. It's a Back to God ad magazine. They just cover it in the vegetables in the Back to God ad magazine, uh, and then they give it to one vendor. That person is fully distressed, and then he is taken the vegetable, and then he reads that Back to God ad magazine, and then he becomes good. So many examples are there. So the whole point here, what is made is mercy of the devotee, how it comes. So the materialistic person may be engrossed in the sense gratification, and sometimes because of overindulging in the sense gratification, he may end up in a distressful condition, or maybe in some depression or anxiety, stress. But how mercy of the devotee can change one's life. So another couple also same thing, similar thing happens. What they are totally in anxiety, and they want some rest, complete rest, away from all the material world. I mean, this materialistic situations and all, and they want to go for some high trekking. They thought, okay, we will go for trekking. Then at the bottom of the hill, there is one devotee doing book distribution. That devotee comes to this couple, and then he tells them, take the book, take the book. This couple, we are doing this trekking and going up the hill. How we have to carry the luggage and all? Why we don't want your book like that? Then somehow that devotee convinces that person to take one small book. And this couple, they do the trekking all the way. They go up, and somehow later the person reads the books, and both become devotees. So this is how the mercy of the devotee and mercy of Srila Prabhupada through his books, through his Vani, makes so many devotees. So that one comes out of the this materialistic existence and completely purifies himself and goes back home, back to Godhead. But many times people, they don't want these things. They are always looking for sense gratification, sense gratification. There is some examples like the crow. The crow always eats the dead matters, dead rat or dead some dead animals and all. So this crow likes such a filthy things. So the person who wants sense gratification is also similar way. He's trying to enjoy. Even if somebody is trying to enjoy in the pious way. For example, there will be the Ganges flows all the way from Himalayas, and it meets the sea in Ganga Sagar. But during the time, many people, they throw nonsense things and so many abominable things into the river. and some dead corpse. Dead corpse will be there floating, and the crow sits on the dead corpse to eat that dead corpse. But what happens? The dead corpse, it is floating, floating, floating into the sea, and this crow is nicely enjoying the dead corpse. It doesn't understand that corpse is going deeper and deeper into the sea, and it goes to such a distance that the crow cannot fly back from the sea to the land. So then what happens? We can understand what is the situation of the crow. It is trying to enjoy that filthy corpse, and it is ending up in death. So here Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that point only, that one is not at all bothered, that even is not carrying the impending danger of the death. So he just want to enjoy. Even the son tries to enjoy, inherit the money of the father and use it for son's gratification. And the son, when the son dies, what will the father do? So much abominable thing, most fallen situations. Even we don't want to utter these things in our mouth. That much is it's mentioned. Father of a dead son even enjoys his son's widow. So much degraded things in Kali Yuga it is happening. So Srila Prabhupada writes this in Srimad Bhagavatam purport. So much fallen people are they? They can go to any extent to for the doing the sense gratification. So the whole point here is that one may be enjoying in this abominable way, or one may be enjoying in the pious way. Pious way, what they do? Why you are blaming us? We are doing havana, yajna, we are giving the charity, but we are doing everything, but they want to enjoy. What enjoyment? They do everything, and their son, they if we materially enjoys, they become very, very happy. Son goes to USA, then he settled there. They proudly tell, my son is settled in USA, Europe, and he's having car, this, that, and like that they tell sometimes. And sometimes even the son may not be taking care of the old parents, but still the old parents are very proud. So the whole point is whether we are enjoying in the pious way, or whether one is enjoying in the abominable way, which is mentioned in the purport of this from Srila Prabhupada. It is just like Srila Prabhupada says, it is dry stool and wet stool. Whether the stool is wet or dry, it is stool. So similarly, the material sense enjoyment is like a stool. Whether it is enjoying in the pious way or enjoying in the impious way. Why it is called compared to stool? Because one, as long as one is enjoying, then he has to undergo the cycle of repeated birth and death. Even if one is enjoying in the pious way, but still one has to undergo the repeated birth and death. Here, the residents of Jambudvipa or any other higher planetary systems, maybe the Apsaras in the Gandharva Loka or the Devas in the Swarga Loka, whatever, they are having highest enjoyment. But still, that is compared to dry stool or the wet stool. So the whole point is that one should not have this bhogavrati, but develop the seva manobhava. That is, develop the service attitude and serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead and serve the devotees. So Krishna says, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Amekam Sharanam Raja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami maschaha. So abandon all so-called religion and just surrender unto me. I will take care of you. So here devotee, tries to surrender to Supreme Personality of Godhead, and with all love, and all his art, he tries to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But uh, uh, you know uh, how much we are surrendered throughout our life, and how much service we have done will be tested at the point of death. How much we have practiced Krishna consciousness in our life, and how much attachment we have for Krishna, that will be tested at the point of death. So here it is mentioned, materialistic persons are not caring for death, but devotee is not like that. Devotee is always ready for facing the death. You know why? Because he is always 24 bar 7, he is always thinking of Krishna. So he is always ready to welcome death. So we have so many examples. Our own Srila Prabhupada, we see how even till the point of death, he was he was preaching. He was speaking. His voice are not audible. Still, the mic is kept very near to his mouth, and still speaking and still speaking Bhagavatam, still preaching, and so many other examples also. His Holiness Sridhara Swami, when he was leaving the body, so he had bulged stomach and the suffering, but still he was joking that in my stomach there is a baby, like that he was joking. So he was happily accepting the death. And His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, he had very severe pain during his last days, but uh, he was thinking that he was welcoming death. He was not afraid of death. Every morning when he used to get up and he sees, and he thinks that, oh, I have not still left the body. Okay, I have now got one more chance now, that to make my faith very strong in the holy name and in the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. And he used to intensely take shelter of the Lord. So there are so many examples. you know uh, uh, they are the devotees, how they are fearless about the death. But materialistic persons are fearful. We know the story of Puranjana. What he is, actually it's compared to a Jivatma story, city of nine gates. Then Chandavega is the time. Then Kalakanya, it's the old age. So all the examples it's given. So we have to understand with the time which is passing, it is like we lose three things. It is said. One thing is the object of sense enjoyment. The object is there. Any object of four types of sense gratification or whatever. That object itself, one person will be losing as the time passes. Then the second thing is the facility for the sense enjoyment. And the third thing is that the enjoyer himself at the point of death. So one example is there that in one place, that person is very much liking about the batata vada. So what happens, that person, he likes so much batata vada that he goes to the restaurant and he steals the batata vada and he used to eat. And he's always thinking batata vada, I want to eat in this way. And he's all making plans to eat that. And then later part, he becomes very rich. So much of money that he can buy any amount of whatever. But what happens? He's developed the diabetes, his liver problem is there, stomach, some digestive problems he developed. Then later, when he had the money, even though he could buy so much of batata vada, but he was not able to eat the batata vada. So, with that, we can understand that even the object of sense enjoyment, even if it is available also, sometimes the facility it will not be there. And after sometimes he himself has to leave the body. And so this way, we can see that time destroys everything. And the living entity is not cared about this time, and even at the point of death, and even if one has become very old, still he is trying to enjoy whatever maximum I can enjoy, I want to enjoy. So Srila Prabhupada used to say that in Paris, one person used to come, he's coming to see this all dirty dances. His age is 85 years, but still he is coming to see the dirty dances and of the so many young ladies and all. He used to come and he wanted to have this sense enjoyment. But his age is 85 years. No? So what even old age is not a he still wants to enjoy. So this enjoying mentality, enjoy to the topmost, enjoy, drink, enjoy, be merry. So many slogans they tell, but one cannot enjoy. First of all, it is material enjoyment is not a enjoyment. First of all. It is illusion to think that I am enjoying. It is the mode of passion is such that it is nectar in the beginning and poison at the end. It looks very nectar. Oh, I'm enjoying so much. I'm getting so much pleasure. But actually, it is not the pleasure. One who is on the higher consciousness, he can see that these whatever the sense enjoyment, maybe it is through eating, sleeping, or sexual intercourse, or the defense, or whatever. These are not actually the enjoyment. The pure devotee or the higher consciousness devotees, they can see the things as it is. But the materialistic person thinks this is a wonderful enjoyment I am having. So even if I am 85 years, I will enjoy. Till the point of death, I will enjoy. Like that, they think. So His Holiness, I think Tanvir Maharaj, or I don't know, some Maharaj used to say uh, that there is in the West there is a thing that every by 12 or 13 years everybody will have the one girlfriend, one or two girlfriends. So what the parents they used to do, if by 12 or 13, 14 years, if one is not having the girlfriend, that means they used to take that boy to psychologist or psychiatrist, because parent themselves they want their child to do all type of sense gratification. So we see even now the Kali Yuga, because of the Kali Yuga, the situations are so much getting degraded. Even in the schools and colleges, no, they are conducting all this fashion show with the very less clothes, as much less clothes as possible, and they're having these shows, and the teachers or principals or the parents they are sitting in front and they are appreciating, oh, our children have become so much advanced now that they are having so much of sense gratification. This is wonderful, my our children are having the sense gratification. Like that, the parents think or the teachers think. But actually the thing is, one has to practice brahmacharya and restraining the mind and senses in his whole life. Whether one is a brahmachari, one is a grahastha or a vanaprastha or a sannyasi, he is supposed to restrain his senses. Even in grahastha ashram, the grahastha is called grahastha brahmachari. He is also restraining the senses and the mind. But the modern civilization is so much, advertising these things or the promoting these things, that if the children do all this fashion show or the, so called, they're showing their various parts of the body, and the parents are very proud of it, or teachers are very proud of it. Is the symptoms of all Kali Yuga. That sense gratification, one who does the sense gratification is something called like, oh, he's cool, they call, he's cool. But what is coolness there? After he leaves the body, he may end up in some animalistic life. So that focus and that goal, the children, the parents, they don't have, the teachers, they don't have. So that is why they can't teach their children also. So where is the modern civilization heading towards? It is heading towards the hellish condition of life. With all this sense gratification and all the promotion of these various, modes of sense gratification, all the people are going towards hell. But Vedic culture or Vedic scriptures, they tell us that up to 25, one should completely restrain his mind and senses. Kaumaram macharet prajno dhamman bhagavatam. From the age of 5, one starts restraining. Up to the age of 25 is completely restrained. Then one may take to grahasthashram. And even in grahasthashram, there is rules and regulations. It's a sacred ashram. It is not that the grahastha does whatever he wants or whimsically doesn't act. It is a sacred ashram where one person keeps Krishna in the center, and then practices Krishna consciousness. It is not ato graha kshetra sutapta vitte. He doesn't think that, all this apta or this land belongs to me, I, me, mine. No, he will not have this consciousness. So devotee staying in the grahastha ashram, he is practicing there also restraining of the mind and senses. This is the first step in spiritual life. Even Upadeshamrita tells it. Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam jiva vegam udaram pusta vegam. All the 6 vegas one has to control. So that is clearly mentioned. So here modern civilization is not promoting this kind of restraint, but rather they are promoting the sense gratification. So Srila Prabhupada, when he was walking in one morning walk, because many materialistic people also used to come. One materialistic person, Srila Prabhupada asked him, what do you do in the morning? So that person says, I just do breakfast, then whatever small work here and there. Then Srila Prabhupada says, that even a pig is doing. What special are you doing? So his point was, you have got the human body. What special are you doing in the human body? It is just like we have bicycle, tricycle, and this two-wheelers, car, and then also aeroplane. But if one is using this aeroplane just on the road, with his tires on the road, then the purpose of aeroplane is not fulfilled. The aeroplane can take one all across, it can fly and it across all the continents it can take and land in different country altogether. So similarly, human life is like an aeroplane. It can take all our whole existence from material existence into completely Vaikuntha planets. So Srila Prabhupada was mentioning human life is very, very rare. So one has to make complete utilization of this. Durlabho manusho deho dehinam kshana bangura tatrapi durlabham manne Vaikuntha Priyadarshan. So Durlabham manusha deho. This manusha deho is very, very durlabha. And it is like Shadabangura, very short living. 50, 60, 70 years, 80 years is nothing. Just we light the lighter in the gas, it makes the sound thick. That much only spark is coming. And that spark, that Shanabangura, Dehinam Shanabangura. But Tatrapi Durlabham Manye. More rarer than that is the association of the pure devotees, Vaikuntha Priyadarshana. So, one who has got the association of the pure devotees is very, very fortunate because he has got the highest benediction. Sadhu Sangha Sarva Shastra Koe, Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi Hoy. So, with this Lavamatra, smallest fraction of time, if one associates with the sadhu, then all perfection can be achieved. Then who is that sadhu? Titikshava Karunika Subradas Sarvadehinam Ajatas Shatravashanta Sadhavah Sadhu Bhushana. So a definition of the sadhu is he is friend of all, he is merciful. He is, Ajata Shatru. He doesn't have any Shatrus. So, he is very merciful, Kanunik. So, he will deliver all his mercy, just like Srila Prabhupada. He gave his mercy, and so many millions of devotees are becoming devotees. So, like that. So, sadhu, because of the mercy of the sadhu, one becomes devotee and he can go back home, back to God. For that, one has to undergo particular training, not live like cats and dogs. Because if there is no focus in the life, then all the focus will be diverted to the bodily concept of life. Okay, my hairs are becoming white. I will put hair dye. Okay, here wrinkle is coming. I will go to beauty parlor and I will do something. And if too much heat is there, I'll put air condition. So I'll make so many adjustments in this life so that I'll try to make this dukhalaya a sukhalaya, and I will do all type of sense gratification. This is the consciousness of the materialist. But devotee surrenders to the Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, and renders all type of seva, service, seva manobhava. Then he progresses in the path of pure devotional service by the mercy of the Vaishnavas, by the mercy of the Guru and Srila Prabhupada. And he progresses. He does this sadhana very nicely every morning. So, just like Srila Prabhupada is stressing, he is asking, that man is telling, I'm doing breakfast in the morning. Devotees, what they do? They have complete morning sadhana program, 4 to 5 hours, chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then morning, one just gets up, gets completely freshened up and comes in front of the deity and sings Samsara Dhava, the leader. So this Guru Ashtaka we sing, Narsimha Arati, then all Tulsi Arati, all the morning program. one does very nicely and progress in the path of pure devotional service. Completely surrendering to the Lord, the personality of God. Then one makes the progress, the devotional service. So then ultimately, at the end of life, if one is completely purified, then he goes back home, back to Godhead, Vaikuntha Dhama or Goloka, Vrindavana Dhama. So that is the whole, purpose of life. Ante Narayana Smriti, if one remembers the Lord at the time of death, then his complete the existence, whatever the life, his life is successful. But if one is in the illusory frame of mind, thinking that this material enjoyment is the whole and soul, so then one will be in illusion, and one may try to enjoy his son's property or the father's property. One day, surely the death is going to come. Here it is clearly mentioned in the second part of the purport. However, on this planet Earth, a son often dies before his father, and the materialistic father is pleased to enjoy the positions of his son. Neither the father nor the son can see the reality that both of them are awaiting death. When death comes, however, all their plans for material enjoyment are finished. So don't go at the, even at the age of 85, 90, don't try to enjoy this material enjoyment. But instead, at the age of 5 only, you try to learn the science of God, science of Krishna, and practice this sadhana bhakti. And then slowly one comes to the point of raganuga bhakti. Then he can completely get Krishna prema and go back home, back to God. This is the whole thing. So, in to conclude, what we learned, the whole this verse explains about the sense gratification. Actually, in the translation itself, how it is mentioned, how wonderful it is that the foolish materialist does not heed the great danger of impending death. So if the father dies, he wants to enjoy his father's property, and if his son dies, he wants to enjoy his son's possessions as well. So the whole verse is telling how fallen situation one can go to enjoy the material happiness, and all the four principles of eating, sleeping, sexual intercourse, and defense. He wants to have good facility for all these things. This we saw that he tries to enjoy. He wants to have the bhogavata. But samashrita e pada pallava pallava. The devotees, they take mahat padam punya yasho murare. They take the shelter of the Lord Murari or Krishna, and then they want to develop the seva manobhava. So devotees also always want to develop the seva manobhava. They don't want bhoga. So for that, they try to surrender to Lord. So because Lord has told Sarva Dharman Parityaj, Mamekam Sharanam Vraj. So devotees, they surrender to Lord and develop the seva manobhava, and because of which, because of the mercy of devotees like Srila Prabhupada, where we discussed about how his mercy comes through book distribution, and how various sadhavas, sadhu bhushana, the other sadhus also they give mercy, the other Vaishnavas they also give us much mercy, and just be by their association, by the association of the devotees, by the mercy of acharyas and mercy of devotees, we can achieve perfection, and that is our hope. And as we progress, we completely become purified, and then go back home, back to Godhead. This is what we saw is the essence of this particular verse. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. So, if there are any questions, comments, or corrections, please. Let's know.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for a very nice overview of the specific verse and purport. As you mentioned, I think Prabhupada has very strongly goes on with respect to this the mentality of material enjoyment and sense gratification, and very nicely explained, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. And I request devotees to unmute the line and share their questions or comments, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, it's a very nice way you have interpreted the sloka. The purport what Prabhupada has given is what is happening in the current day. Even sometimes, even devotees' children, the way they are, if it's somebody, a non-devotee, it's okay. But even devotees' children, sometimes they are like that. I don't know who can correct them. I mean, I just don't interfere. I just see and then keep quiet. And what you told is very nice, Prabhu. That human life is like an aeroplane. We can fly from the material techniques. And practically, I have seen with my mother. I lost my mother recently, about almost 3 months. Very gracefully, she left. Towards the end, she was 80 plus, Prabhu, going to be 81. And the doctor said, you have to admit to the ICU. She said, no. It's my days are counted and I don't want to go to ICU. So we had to set up an ICU bed and oxygen, everything. She stopped taking food and slowly she was, because all of them, they belong to Sri Sampradaya. Because in my house, there's no Sampradaya at all. Then I told my mother, this is the thing happening. I've come across ISKCON and I'm enjoying. She said, go ahead, take initiation. Because I had to take a permission, then she said. And every time I go, she will ask me to tell the stories of Krishna and all that. So very nice. And when I felt towards the end, she had good memory and she was instructing us, do this, even if I go, you should not stop anything, you should do like that. Very nicely she was dictating. Very till the last minute she had the memory. And yes. Very nice, Prabhu. And then towards the end, all of us around and we gave a Ganga Jal and I took Vrindavan, the dust and all that I took. It was very nicely she kept. What you said is, this is all is required. She had pain towards the end. She said, no, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want any treatment. Just allow me to leave my body. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. So, that very few people will get, I think, that consciousness.
Yeah. Because the previous ages, even though like they may not be, formally practicing what we are like philosophical and all, but in their life only they were more or less Krishna conscious. So even Srila Prabhupada says that every Indian is a Krishna conscious in by birth. So somehow they have connection with Krishna, and maybe Shiva Vaishnavas means Ranganatha Swami and Balaji. So of course, so the Lord facilitates good departure for all. Thank you, Mataji, for sharing.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavad Pranam. Thanks for the wonderful class, Prabhu. Even my mother-in-law, she was 94 years, Prabhu, and she was having this fracture hip, and she was operated in the hospital. But she, once it was little better, she said, "I want to get back home." Then she came home and she was chanting till the end. And after listening to Gajendra Moksham, she left her body without much suffering. So it is all a good lesson for us. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So that is what actually devotees even if they little bit practice, so Lord helps so much while they are living. So that is why we should practice this so intensely, so that this will be our last life. Definitely, if we are practicing so intensely, Krishna will definitely help that devotee to remember Lord at the point of death and go back home backward. So thank you, Mataji, for sharing.
Just one reflection based on what Radharani Mataji and Paramataji has mentioned. I think our previous generation, they were following very simple lifestyle, Prabhu.
Yes.
So that's why it was very easy for them to accept.
Yes.
I think for us, the next generation, we are actually complicating our lifestyle.
Yes.
And the more we complicate and the more we become sophisticated, it becomes difficult.
Yes.
To accept Krishna or to accept the principles of the verdict of the Shastra. And that way we are, taking ourselves far away from Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
Their lifestyle actually really helped Prabhu.
Yeah, because in the previous ages, just I think about 30, 40 years back, when we were also small, the cows were the part of our life. Cows, the main thing comes with the cows. Cows and simple living, as you mentioned, it's the simple living, high thinking. So Srila Prabhupada mentioned those who are serving cows, they are automatically devotees. So cows were part of our life. And this as the Kali Yuga is progressing, the cows are ignored. They are not happy, and we will even because of the materialistic civilization, one is trying to go towards the artificial needs, artificial lifestyle, so which is making one's life more and more complex. So all these things getting added up. So previous ages, life was very simple. Agriculture, cows, and even other professions, it's very simple life. 5 hours working, 4 hours working. Remaining part of the life in the villages, here Rama Katha, Krishna Katha. This was part of life. So now we are going towards artificial intelligence, where we don't want our real intelligence to work. We want artificial intelligence. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for sharing.
Krishna devotees, any other comments or reflections? I think there are no questions, Prabhu. We can end today's session with Vaishnava Pranam. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Now, devotees, I'll end the Zoom session. Jai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.